respected speakers, panelists who have taken their time from their busy to be part of this dialogue number 7 and to set the stage of what KhetiValah does. We have a very small presentation. Thereafter, we'll introduce both the panelists, and then the floor is ready for both the panelists. This is the first slide on KhetiValah, cultivating a prosperous future for farmers' welfare, and it is one of the brainchilds of Haldhari Technologies Pvt Ltd. We are present in different cities, prominently in Gurgaon, Bangalore, and Telangana state, and spreading to other cities as well. Hope my presentation is seen.
Yeah, we could see it.
Okay, so we begin with who we are. It's one of a kind agri-tech application Android app, which is available on your mobile phone, Google Play Store. I installed it. It took only 1 minute, and it provides right guidance and financial assistance from Niveshaks, who are visionary investors who are passionate about farming. The farmers contribute to society, give us food on our table, and not just Indians, everybody, be it Russians or Ukraine, whether they are in midst of a war, they need food. As a gesture of gratitude to farmers who work tirelessly to ensure food to entire mankind, we launched KhetiValah, a farmer-friendly app that supports farmers' journey to progress. What we do is we connect with the right Niveshaks. We did so in the recent event where face-to-face we gave checks of 25,000 rupees to 25 farmers, and next step would be we would do it for 1,000 farmers. And we are doing knowledge sharing platform, we have magazine, we are doing dialogues, and we are creating a digital repository for the University of Agriculture Scientists. We also provide sales assistance and market linkage. So how we accomplish these objectives is we have a number of tools with us, architected by K. Lakshman, our founder. One is called Kheti Kalyan. As the very name suggests, it looks after the welfare of the farmers. Next is Mandal Kendras, and Mandal is something like a block. I worked in the National Informatics Center, where one of our panelists is former Director General of National Informatics Center. I have introduction about both the speakers. So during that time, I worked on rural development. So I worked on integrated rural development, Jawahar Rozgar Yojana, and we divided the fund that the district gets into various panchayats and then for various activities. That was the thing I used to do. So audience, please refrain from doing your own markings on the slide as we are doing it for everyone. Don't distract it kindly. So next is Anusandhan. This is where we do collaboration. We meet people not just virtually by face-to-face too. We conduct KV dialogue. We have some new developments of Kheti Dialogue we are doing in every language possible in India. We will talk about that in other slides. We have an innovative concept called Kheti Kosha, which is like a accumulation of the land masses, which we can optimize and bring synergy between the farmers and those who own the land for effective utilization, and that we call Kheti Kosha. There is also KhetiValah. Electronically, we want to perform digitalization. Both the panelists are experts in that domain. And we bring about KhetiValah Agri magazine. And in Anusandhan, what we do is we connect the farmers with investors, collaboration with agriculture stakeholders, explore new avenues in sustainable farming practices, and do crop improvement techniques. Recently, I was in Tamil Nadu where we did focus on water in one of the locations there in Thalli Road, and technology integration also we perform. Kheti Kalyan, as the very word suggests, it is to look after the welfare of the farmer. So we bring the investors and farmers onto the same platform. I've seen with my own eyes when the former director of ISRO, Sri A.S. Kiran Kumar sir, came when we handed over checks to 25 farmers in University of Agriculture Sciences, Dharwad. And we intend to do the same in another forum, bringing 1,000 farmers together. We conduct KT dialogues. This is our dialogue number 7 with Sri Parathasarathy Iyer sir and Professor Moni. We introduce their profiles very soon. And we talk about various topics on agriculture by subject matter experts like today's 2 speakers. And we also invite specialists from companies of agriculture, like once we had IFCO company representing us, professionals, and also we had government representation from the Cooperative Federation. And we collaborate and gather crucial feedback so that it helps global community of agriculture practitioners. And we have Mandal Kendras. They are based on the crop growth in a particular area, from crop drones to monitor drones. I am a certified pilot of UAVs by Directorate General of Civil Aviation. We are also conducting drone trainings. And KhetiValah is very much interested in a drone as one of the effective tools in the modern era. And we encourage accountability and innovation. And we also do input sales for agriculture supplies and financial and marketing guidance. And we supply high quality seeds and pesticides to Indian farmers. These are all the activities we would like to do channelized through the Mandal Kendras because they are very much close to farmers. And we have KhetiValah magazine. You can see that Ikigai is a word in Japan, and a space where farmers and investors come together, exchange ideas, and inspire one another to shape the brighter future for agriculture. So agripreneurism, and then for dreamers, those who are from anywhere in the world, but they want farmers to be more involved in the process, so that we actually solve several challenges. One is global warming, another is international food crisis, and several other challenges together by focusing on agriculture. And entrepreneur endeavors that revolutionize farming sector. Information on machine usage, technical specifications on financial options, and subsidy to revolutionize the entire agriculture domain. We have also a YouTube channel, and we will be available 24/7 with agri news, and we will enrich as we progress with a lot of more dialogues in every possible Indian language. And eKhetiValah is a platform for farmers to sell their agriculture produce. It is a very good practice to encourage them to get market access. We simplify the sales process, ensure margin, and boost their profitability and bridge the gap between farmers and consumers. Kheti Kosha, as I made a mention of it, it's a bank of agricultural land where small or marginal farmers can practice farming on the land which someone else owns for just at least one session, one particular crop. Later on, they can plant a different location, different crop. This is the idea. And we are delighted to unveil new features. Our dialogues will happen in Telugu, Hindi, Kannada, Marathi, and Tamil. And thanks to everyone who is supporting us with dialogue moderators and also good speakers, as we are enjoying in English with lots of brilliant minds like Professor Moni and Parathasarathy Iyengar sir, Professor Vivekananda and others. KV Dialogues comprehensive website is designed to create a insight on KV Dialogue and update on session schedules, connect with like-minded individuals passionate about agriculture. We're going to bring up this website very soon. And we also do pure agri talks in WhatsApp. In the previous slide, I want to stay on this slide because it focuses on today's panelists. I just want to read through the main topic and then what is written about description about speakers. And again, we have a slide on their profile. So today's topic is International Year of Millets. This year we have done wonderfully in terms of breakthroughs. For example, 23rd August, very fresh in all our minds is India is on moon. And so India is also G20 leader. And we have the now we have the presence in the world and everyone is looking up to India for breakthroughs. So why not in agriculture? So I know that both the speakers have already been doing a lot of leadership roles in promoting the cause of India's mission abroad in various panels. So we are really fortunate to have both of the learned scholars. I would like to first read Sri Parathasarathy Iyengar, what's written in this slide. He's founder and CEO of India Startup 360. And he's also founder of Millet Mart Ventures Pvt Ltd, co-founder actually, and AA Millet Foods and Enterprises Private Limited. And he's also president of All India Millet Producers Association and many more things. And Professor Moni Madhuswamy is a former Director General of National Informatic Center and the Government of India, New Delhi. And he's Professor Emeritus and Chairman of several organizations. And we will read about their abbreviations in the description in his profile slide. And currently is a Shobit deemed university, Mart. He's one of the professors there. So we have really very learned scholars in our Dialogue-07. So firstly, let me begin with our first panelist, Sri Parathasarathy Iyengar. In fact, I am very fortunate to have met him first in many other youth forums where he is very active, and that's where I connected with him. And also about Millets, International Year of Millets, he's the champion of that. He's founder and CEO of India Startup 360, co-founder and CEO of Millet Mart Ventures Private Limited. He's co-founder of Forum for Rural Empowerment and National Development, FREND, sounds like friend, and AA Millet Foods and Enterprises, City and Guild, UK accredited mentor for Bharatiya Yuva Shakti Trust. He is empowering more than 3,000 startups of various domains, of which 300 are millet specific. President of All India Millet Promoters Association. He has 2 registered patents on Millet Mart Ventures and GABP, which he is promoting. And 300 plus millet startups are being mentored by him. He is member of Global Organization of People of Indian Origin and International Business Council, member of Global Indian Organization Startup Community, and director of Bose Agri Analytics Private Limited. And he is honorary member of AICRA STEM, that is Science, Technology, Engineering, Management, Mathematics, Education Steering Committee.
So thank you very much. Thanks to KhetiValah and of course to Flight Lieutenant Kishore and also Mr. Lakshman and Professor Vishwanath, to whom I have been associated. And before thanking everybody, I should salute and start my mentor, Professor Muni Madhuswamy. And it is our privilege, rather it's my personal privilege to share a dais with him, and I am no personality in front of him. With his vast experience, especially after served the nation as the Director General of National Informatics Center and led so many projects on his own capacity at the national level, and seen that many of the projects have been rolled out all over the deepest villages of the country. So it is really my privilege to share the dais with him. And of course, I should thank my friends and of course my partner, Mr. Satyanarayanan, who has made it a point to join and encourage us today. So it is really a very heartwarming experience for me. And before I proceed further, I really appreciate your initiatives with respect to KhetiValah, what you have taken. And if possible, I would like to give a small suggestion at this point of time, because in the flow of the event, I might forget it in the later stage. So with your permission, maybe I can propose it and you can add it to your agenda as well. You can create a sort of agri-equipment bank where people have the equipment like maybe tillers, tractors, and even why not your this unmanned aerial vehicles and other things which are being used for sprinkling the pesticides and other things. These things can be formed as a bank, and those who do not have the facilities can come and borrow this on a specific charge or something like that. Because I know getting such equipment is very difficult in these days, and it is also very costly affair, because people who are there in the private sector, they charge very heavily for these people. So that is one project which has been in my mind for quite long time, and I have been planning to come out with a mobile app down the line. So maybe we can think of a joint venture in that, and we can certainly work upon in that particular direction. So with this suggestion, maybe I would like to set the things go further. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. And as pointed out by Flight Lieutenant Kishore ji, I am the co-founder of Millet Mart Ventures Private Limited. Uh, Based on our technology today, I am going to base my entire presentation today. We are going to talk about the digitization of millet agri system, and we would like to unlock the millet excellence during the year of International Year of Millet 2023. That is going to be our agenda today. So the overview is going to be the unlocking millet excellence to help farmers millet business and maintain their land more effectively and efficiently. That is going to be our agenda of the meeting today. So I was given the responsibility to talk about millet and only about millet. So I would like to give an addendum over here. Wherever it comes inadvertently as agriculture, please read it as millet. So that disclaimer I'm going to make it, so that Flight Lieutenant is not wild against me. So the traditional challenge which is being faced by the millet farming community today is primarily related towards the global food supplies shrinking and faster than ever, and also the commodity prices soaring like never before. Even during the latest rainy seasons about a month back, the entire India faced that burnt of tomato prices soaring up to say 200 rupees in some cities and so on and so forth. So the market prices soar as the commodity supply is totally on the reverse proposition. As and when the demand increases, the market, the farmers are not able to cope up with the demand situation. So that is the biggest challenge available more so in the case of millet. The reason being, millet per se is not being treated as the main farming almost in 95% of the Indian farmers, barring a few people there in remote places like I would say places like Javadu Hills there in Tamil Nadu, where the tribals mostly do this what is called barnyard millets and other things. So only some selective pockets, barring these two, maximum one or two cycle of crops people come with the millet cultivation. So that is the biggest challenge in the present day. As a result, what happens? They have the biggest task of selling the producers maximum in about a week's time or 10 days. The reason being, there is a lack of processing facilities which is nearer to the farm gate. And this results in the fact that the shelf life of the unprocessed millet is like very less. So by this result, what happens? They are being able to sell it at a much lesser price as they are not able to store the producers, and they get something closer, say 20 rupees, 28 rupees, 30 rupees or so per kg. And per acre, if you see, it is not more than 400 kgs to 500 kgs of the millet being produced. So the small farmer having about say, let's say 2 to 3 acres of land, which they mainly utilize only during the summer for these millets. So what will happen in the end result is they are left with a very paltry amount of making about say 2 tons, about say 50 to 60,000 rupees in a cycle, whereas the traders and the end sellers in the market, they sell it at a higher price of say 2 rupees or 300 rupees. So that is the very, very typical situation over here. And the second task is, as I told, the resource wastages. Farm to plate, the phenomenon has led to the increasing push for better traceability of food products, as customers are getting quite concerned in the sources of the foods being brought to their table, how they were produced, where they were stored, and under what condition it is being stored, whether it is there in a hygienic condition or not. People are willing to pay good amount, but they are very particular about the origin of the particular product which is being served to them. So this results in a huger portion where most of the items that even today we had our regular update meeting there at Dubai, where we were analyzing the reason for why millet products are not being sold there in the counters. And our people are very happy that like, okay, they could sell about 15, 20 packets in a period of say 1 month or so. They are very happy because the end pricing is very high, and comparatively we could make some better pricing. But that is not sufficient for us to claim the entire share of the market. We need to go and educate more and more people over there and make the product more acceptable to the end user. But the biggest task, as I told you here, is the traceability and the origin at which it is being made, and under what condition it is having stored, and how it has transferred to their tabletop before it reaching from the farmer level to the fork level. Even like if people used to complain about that, like, okay, where at the storage level, the lots of sacks being stored there at the something like Kanaki, FCI go down and other things, where small rats and other things, they come and urinate and they do the excreta over there, and it gets mingled with that. The hygiene condition is a very big challenge over there. So The second point which we are going to touch about is the resource wastage. And the last but not the process is the manual processes. Preserving the supply chains security is the biggest task over there. It is more complicated due to climate changes. Even if you go and store it, under what condition it is getting stored, and in what duration it is going to get reach the counters. For example, if we have some sizable order of, let's say, 5 containers or 10 containers of, let's say, processed millet, if I need to take it from, say, Chennai harbor or something like that, it is going to travel to place like Dubai, something close to 15 to 20 days. So during this period, how it is being preserved, whether the packing which the farmers are using or the process are using, is it capable of withstanding this climatic condition? So what is the assurance that now by the time the processed grain, as I told you, is maximum about say 1 month is the lifetime that you can do it. If you preserve the raw millet, you can preserve it for years together. But once it is processed, it is dehulled or dehusked, then you need to pack it properly if you want to extend the shelf life. So that is the biggest challenge again over here. So these are the three major incidences which we are going to discuss about today's event. So the digitization of the agriculture, as I told you, my disclaimer, wherever it is there, inadvertently given as agriculture, I am going to talk one and only about millet. So we are going to talk about the precision agricultural process. Rather, I would say it is precision farming technology, to put it in a better language, is a farming management concept based on observing, measuring, and responding to inter-field variability in crops. That is inter-variability of the crop and inter-field variability of the crop. These are the two different parameters that I will be discussing furthermore in my presentation. So we will be discussing about a farming technology. I am not going to go into much details of the technology. As a layman's point of view, from a farmer point of view, what are the essentials? Only those points I'll be touching it. For those who are interested with respect to very detailed processing methodology, maybe we can discuss offline and discuss one-to-one as well. I am open to any questions as well. So the precision farming, it starts with a GIS yield map. GIS yield map, which we have got a very huge repository of this geographical information thanks to this satellite information which Professor Moni will be touching in the later part of this discussion. We have a lot of information available, which particular type of millet is available in which particular geography and in what quantity, which year, under which climatic condition this particular yield has come into. So this repository of data we have very huge. And the second portion what we will be considering over here is the stress detection algorithm. We will discuss about the water, nutrient, weed, and insect. When we say nutrient, we will talk about the pH value of the land. Water, of course, with respect to millet, it doesn't require much of water at all. That everybody knows. So even in a very hottest situation, we are even talking to people there in Dubai and other places also, how millet could be cultivated over there. So we are definitely going to take about it. But it will definitely depend on the nutritional value and the pH value of the soil. I'll relate it to when I go to vegetation series there at point number 5, and about the weed. Of course, millet can go along with weeds. There is no problem. But when the insect gets catch of it in the very initial stages, you will see only the grain outer shells, which will have nothing inside. It will be a shallow. The normal ratio of conversion of millet grain into processed millet is almost 30 to 35%. That is the thumb rule that we can work about it. So if there is an insect which eats even the nutrients within the millet, that will even go down to the extent of say hardly something closer to 18 to 20% or so, or it may be resultant into a fact that even your millet can be used only as a cattle field, not more than that. There won't be any buyer for your particular produce. So these are the very basic challenges that any farmer is facing about. And the third stage is we are going to talk about the prescription plan. Like any doctor prescribes you based on your uh, pathological results. Okay, your iron content is so much, you are anemic, so take this, take that, like that. We will also be discussing about the water requirement, fertilizer requirement with respect to NPK values, and also the herbicides and also the pesticides. The pesticides, it may be organic in most of the cases, but the herbicides, we need to think of how to control the weeds and other things that we will be discussing. So that plan, that phase is called the phase 3, which we call it as the prescription phase. Okay. And the fourth phase, the important phase over here is variable rate technology. Based on the prescription, we will be deciding in what proportion which material is to be given to the plant. For example, I can decide under what time the water is to be irrigated, or whether I need to give the nitrogen or potassium or whatever is phosphorus or whatever is, under what ratio it should be given. Again, I tell you not to breach my protocol. Whatever I talk as millet, it is applicable to agricultural practice and vice versa. So, on the last stage is we are going to talk about the vegetation. This is where the entire magic is dependent upon. We might have read there in class 4 or 5 there in the school days, a simple technology called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process in the presence of sunlight and carbon dioxide. The chlorophyll used there in the plant produces the food. This is the simple layman technology. So here what we will try to do with our VRT based on the precision plan, the prescription plan is to work out various algorithms based on the stress detection the algorithm, which we will be deriving after studying the GIS data of any particular geography. Because what parameter available in the particular field may not be true to the field which is adjacent to your particular piece of land. So with respect to millet, what we will be doing initially is we will be taking up an area about, let's say, 1 or 2 acres of land. And in the first phase, we will be dividing it to 12 different compartments. 12 different compartments, which we will be using, of course, the sprinkler method or the other drip irrigation process, which we will be using it. Since the water requirement is very less, that may not be a major concern over here. But still, unexpectedly, suppose some heavy rain falls on any particular day, or how many days we can refrain from giving the water to the plant, that we need to work out based on all the parameters. So these are the aspects that we will be working out in detail with respect to the uh, geospatial data and also the drone data. Of course, that I will be discussing when I go to IoTs and AI and how these things will be worked out. But these are the 5 stages which we will be working out with respect to our precision farming technology, I would say. I would like to break for a couple of minutes and welcome any questions with respect to till this point.
Shall I, sir? Shall I?
Please, please.
Okay. Sir, it was a great presentation, rather. But my question is all about, since since ages, I'm telling, maybe our Indus Valley, since the Indus Valley civilization, the millets were there and etc. But now, why is that it is not what I can say? I mean, the price wise, not that it is so costly now. Wherever we go, we face the problem of the cost. Is it because of the less production, or how is that that you can comment
No,
here?
sir, I beg to differ.
Yeah.
Millet price is not lesser to the processor. Suppose I am a manufacturer, I want to make some cookies.
Okay.
I cannot go and get the produce for say 20 rupees or 30 rupees directly from the village, from the farm.
Okay.
That is the biggest
Okay.
drawback of our entire system as on date.
That
Okay.
is what
So
I know.
what
You are
happens?
addressing that.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
Mm,
The lack
mm,
of knowledge
mm.
from the farmer's point of view
Okay.
is the main culprit for this. Okay. I
Okay.
can see
Yeah.
some places like Javadu Hill or maybe somewhere near in Tamil Nadu, like places like Teni, Kambam, all these belts. So these are the places
Okay.
where we used to get these barnyard millets, this tinai, what you call it as.
Ah,
These are the only 2
the
places where we get
finger millet.
across. Yeah,
Finger millet.
this is, you get
Ah,
only these 2 areas all across India.
ah.
You will never ever get from
Okay.
anywhere. Likewise,
Mm.
in other areas in northern India, like Jwar, Ragi, Bajra. Ragi you will get everywhere in any
Ah,
geography in India in a much
ah.
lesser quantity or higher quantity depending on the cultivation. If you come
Okay.
to Madhya Pradesh and places like this, you will get Ragi.
Correct.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Jwar is one particular thing above equator, that is there in places like Uttar Pradesh or Haryana. These belts you
Rajasthan.
get
Ah.
Rajasthan. These belts you get only Jwar.
That
One
is
and
pearl
only
millet, kind
near,
of pearl millet.
yeah, and
Ah,
one and only near Maharashtra, you get this
ah.
Bajra.
Bajra. Okay.
So this is the geographical classification we can get. When I say
Oh,
only in this area, in other
mm.
areas it is there in pieces and meals, not in that high quantity.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So what
But since
happens
I am
is
from
this,
Karnataka, I would
yeah,
like to state that there are, I can see many taluks where all this foxtail, finger, and then
yes,
barnyard millets, sometimes even brown top, little millets, and I
yes,
don't
you
know.
will
So
get only the
how
little
is the
millets. You will get only the
climate
middle millets, not the major
visible?
millets.
Is what? Ah,
You will not get
okay, okay,
why? Because the hilly
ah,
terrains where it is there, it is
okay,
raining heavily, but
ah,
water will not be stagnant.
okay,
So that is the area where we can go these little millets.
okay,
Other
okay,
millets,
okay,
there is no need for any
ah,
water at all.
okay,
Okay. And
okay.
in some of the
Yes, sir.
cases
Yes.
where the water condition is better, like Kerala and other places where you cannot
Okay.
find millets at all. Whereas these
Oh,
pulses like, okay, this pepper, green pepper and
okay.
clove and
Ah,
the cardamom, these things will be much predominant
okay.
in those areas. So it is God
Okay.
written commandment it is. You and I can't go and change it. So that is it. So what happened
Okay.
with these people, the limited knowledge of the market, they are bound to go and sell to the trader who is there in the nearby area. And the traders are now,
Okay.
the agents are very clever. They go and book even before 10 days before this harvest or whatever it is. Okay, this entire thing, I take it, I give you
Okay.
25 rupees. This is the advance, you take it.
Uh,
The moment the farmer sees the advance,
okay.
and he is just happy with it.
Uh,
He is just happy with it.
okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to
Okay.
prove to them
Uh-huh.
that yes, instead of getting
Uh,
about say 2 tons with about say 5 acres of land, if you can produce about 8 tons or 10 tons in your same 5 acres of land, they will be much happy to work with us,
okay.
and because they can have good stock and they can wait.
Mm,
We will also
okay.
provide them an opportunity to process and store it near the farm gate, so that the
Mm,
value addition is given over there. They will be able
mm.
to command the prices and they will be able to go on. This is how the
Sir,
logic
I
is.
would like to add, yes, sir. Thank you so much. I would like to add one thing, sir. In one of the cities, like Delhi or something like that, one of the schools, they don't entertain the children bring for in their lunch boxes other things except millets. They have made it a mandate. I don't know. The school management is so strict that they have to bring only the millet kind of produce this thing for the lunch in the lunch bags
Lunch, sir,
because
that is
they
there
feel that
everywhere.
it tackles
Sir, that
the
will be there only this year, sir.
tackle yeah it tackles
You
the
will not
lifestyle
find it next
problems,
year.
especially the obesity and okay,
So,
okay.
you
So and
will
also
not
you were
find it
telling
next
about
year.
the conservation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
You
we'll
were telling
discuss, of
about the
course, in this.
produce being conserved. Uh, Produce being conserved. So since it is photo insensitive, sir, so how is that the resilience to the climate is
The climate resilience, it is
covered
given by
there?
God, sir. If
Okay,
that is what
okay,
I said, that we'll be dividing into 12 different parts to
okay.
study the nature. Of course, we'll be
Mm,
conducting the soil studies and our things. We'll be
okay,
placing the things in different forms, 12 different forms. In the first stage, we'll be taking up the production. So
okay,
based on that, we'll come with a thumb rule of which particular method is better. On the second
okay,
cycle, we will be doing that particular method, and we'll find out,
okay,
yes, in this particular land, this particular
okay,
way of irrigation, this particular combination of our prescription plan, and this type of
okay,
VRT is going to work. It is a research
okay.
process. It is a research
Oh,
process.
that's
We will be charging
okay,
about something close to 15 lakh rupees for about first to 2 acres of land, and this will be an
okay,
ongoing process. We are more
okay,
interested to come and work with any place. For example, 30th, I am visiting a place near Vellore where they have got 90 acres of land. They are willing
oh,
to come
okay,
with this particular exercise and other things. So it is, we are
oh.
willing to share our knowledge with them, and we will be doing it.
I was
So
recently
we,
with my agriculture university, sorry, college, Tirupati. So they are also interested. People are there in the,
you can
dialogue
connect
now.
us.
They have joined.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Reddy
So
sir,
I may please be
everybody.
allowed. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
may
yeah. So
allowed.
thank you,
Please allowed
thank
to
you,
go to
thank
the
you.
next slide, please.
Yeah, yeah. Please, sir. Sir, I am now. Yeah, please. My
Yeah,
questions are over.
yeah. So now I'm going to discuss that how this Internet of Things, how it plays a crucial role in modernizing the millet agriculture. Okay. Decrease in crop yield due to these plant diseases is the cause of concern for farmers and the agriculture industry, as I told. And the deep learning and IoT based solutions were proposed in the literature for plant disease detection and classification. Here, the plant disease detection, we will be doing it in two different technologies, either with the drones, because with the geospatial data, using the satellite data, we will not be able to pinpoint and find out the color of one particular leaf or the particular crop at any given point of time. When it flowers and blossoms, At that time only, we need to find out the difference in color and then decide what type of insect this is susceptible to. That particular information will be passed on to the back end with the help of the IoT devices, and the algorithm will work on its own. And as I told you in the first case, we will be working out the specific fertilizer, herbicide, and pesticides modality, and we will be moving further on this particular aspect. This is how the Internet of Things come into the particular role play. And to continue with that, this research aims to develop the automatic and intelligent data collector and the classifier framework, and integrating the deep learning process. With the deep learning process, we will be able to come out with a predictive methodology where the given particular form of data within 30 to 40 seconds, the system can learn and come and suggest a predictive methodology. Yes, this is coming out with a particular fight of insect or a particular disease or whatever it is, and we need to take this particular message, and this methodology can automatically driven, and with the help of these IoT devices concerned, we will be tweaking the going up with the precision algorithm application, and we will be putting up the particular amount of, say, the required fertilizer or any herbicide to be sprayed upon or whatever it is, on the limited quantity only. Even that quantity can be worked out depending on the area and the geographical condition and PHP value of the land. So that is what the IoT comes into major thing. Okay. So in this particular process, the science of improving crop yield and assisting management decisions using high technology, that is what come into the picture. Whereas I told that this drone images and also this deep learning process and everything, where we will be able to spray these particular amount of herbicides or pesticides and so on and so forth. We will be able to control even the water flow. There will be an autonomous system at a particular time. Automatically, the IoT goes and starts your particular motor pump set or whatever it is, and it switches off the things depending on the flow of water and everything. There's a huge level of process involved in that. So with respect to artificial intelligence, how it comes into the picture is the AI for data analysis and decision making. As I told, it is going to be a predictive methodology. We are only by virtue of more and more data, the system can learn on itself. It doesn't have any specific data as of now. Maybe Professor Moni will also agree that all the data available are maybe for wheat or even rice or any cotton seed or whatever it will give. But with respect to specific millets, we have very minimum data available. And no particular research methodology has been taken over, even underlined within quote institutions like IIMR do not have. We are discussing with them how this particular technology can be taken up further. Okay. So AI helps farmers by suggesting the nutrients they should apply to increase the quality of the soil. As the viewer asked sometime and he was suggesting, in the olden days, all the farmers, by virtue of the climate and other things, they could learn and they could predict. Even by looking at the colors, they can say that, Array, this disease is going to come, we need to use this particular thing over there. They used to say. But how many people have seriously taken up the agriculture as on date today? Nobody. But thank God there is a slight awareness with the youth, and they are trying to return back thanks to this technology. And we are quite confident that we will be able to inspire and more youngsters over there, and then we'll be able to bring them to the fore so that we can take this decision with the help of artificial intelligence, and we'll be able to precisely predict and suggest them and do the things over there. Even at the instance also, suppose there is a slight overdose of any particular component on today, the next day or the third day, depending on the color of the leaves or flowers or whatever it is, the system can rework and then start working on the control of the dispensation of the particular fertilizer or the any parameter, and it can rework upon that. So intelligent equipment can calculate the spacing between the seeds and the maximum planting depth. So this is very crucial. People used to say, we used to get only 25 kgs of millet seeds from IIMR or wherever it is. Depending on the land, they'll give only 25 kgs. It is not with the intention to minimize that 25 kgs. The 25 kgs is more than sufficient if you space it properly and then take care of the other parameters so that you optimize this photosynthesis product and increase the weight of the particular grain, not the numbers of the plants. That is not going to make any difference. Even if you space that in between, and if there is not much of light or not much of any particular parameter, it is not going to produce the product properly. It is as good as your human being. In the right proportion, whatever you take inside, it is going to work efficiently. That is what it is. Anything overdose given is going to result in a dysentery or any disorder. So that is the idea behind that. And this is a very simple logic how this precision farming or your precision agriculture is going to work. So to continue with the artificial intelligence, it has the potential to promote more productive agricultural techniques and technological advances in computer vision and mechatronics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning have enabled the development and implementation of remote sensing technologies for plant and weeds, pest and disease identification and management, and including the disaster management. We can definitely work out the condition based on the seismic data available from the meteorological department and other things. We can definitely work out. They provide the unique opportunity for the development of intelligent agricultural systems and the precision applications. Okay, now we have discussed about optimizing the yield. I am not talking about doubling the yield. I am not talking about a magical system or something like that. We have learned how to optimize. Yes, quality input is going to give a quality output in a particular condition of parameters, which is going to depend on the prescription plan of any particular ingredient and under what time, under what condition, at what quantity it is to be administered to the plant, as any typical doctor will do it in a typical ICU or an intensive care unit. Same process, if it is being followed, we are quite confident 3 to 4 times your yield will increase. When I say yield will increase, the quantity with respect to number of grains is not going to increase. It is going to increase with respect to the weight of each and every quality grain. Please mark my words. So I am very specific about this. We have crossed that particular scenario. Now we spoke about the digitization of the entire thing with respect to production. There at the farm level, we have discussed how we are going to digitize the distribution level or the management level. So here what is our all investigations and our research come into place. The quality maturity model, which we call as the QMM, is a framework in similar terms of capability maturity model, CMM level 5I, which is of course the brainchild of my partner, Mrs. Satyanarayanan Raman, who is there with me on stage today. Okay, so we thought about it when a particular capability can be matured for any repeated process, why not the quality can be matured for a repetitive process of food productivity or any repeated action? Why not we improve the quality with respect to the repetitive process? That is, we work out, we find out with the learning of about 21 different templates of various locations of your processing, like inward or your procurement or your quality or your outward or your even packing, under what conditions it is being packed. So there are different set of documents that we will be documenting it, and we will be working out and pinpointing out where exactly is the rework is to be done. What is the area of strain that we have and how it can be reworked, that we will be working out. And with that, we will try to improve the entire process to reduce the defect system and lead to a zero defect technology.
Sir, slightly speed up another speed.
I'll do it. I have only 3 more minutes left. I know my limitation. Okay, so this is what we call about the quality maturity model, and we will be taking it to the adaptability of Industry 4.0 standards with respect to your manufacturing capabilities, and we will be mapping it to various international standards. To specify that, we have already spoken with and we have been accredited by MOIAT of Dubai, Ministry of Information and Automation Technologies, Advanced Technologies of Dubai, which they have this index called Industry Technology Transformative Index. So this index they are finding out, and they will be encouraging people or the factories with this index, something close to 4 or 5, and they will be encouraged to sell their products there in Dubai. So they are mapping it to Industry 4.0. That is how it is. So in similar way, we have, this is the quality maturity model which I discussed about it, and our other algorithm is Global Agri Value Chain, GAVC, which spoke about, which is a 6 location format. That is the farm, the primary processing, the secondary processing, the shipping house, and the packing house, the export house, and the shipping house. This is how the data is. Here all the data will be captured as is various condition in the live scenario, and it will be transformed into a single QR code, which we will be depicting on the final end product. This QR code is the integration of quality maturity model and our GAVC. So just by scanning the QR code, a customer, as I told you, who is sitting there at a departmental store or at his food table can get ascertained with the quality parameters, under what conditions it has been produced, under what conditions it has been processed, how it has been packed, how it has been shipped, and be assured that yes, my product, what I am eating is quite safe and I can buy and eat it. It is worth the penny. So this is how the entire integration works out. So with respect to the integration, the advantages I told, this integrating QMM and GAVC enhances the millet production and the credibility, and the data-driven approach of QMM and GAVC farmers to make informed about the decisions and take lead in increase uh, overall productivity and sustainability the key of this particular decision, and this aligns the millet production with the environmental goals and also ensure the healthier planet and the future generation. So this is what our QMM is all about, and we have given so many case studies also. I can share all it much details. Sri Lakshmi Foods at Coimbatore is one typical example who manufacture this millet noodles and pastas. We have provided this certification to them, and their products are now available globally with the QR code. So
Small,
we have, yes, another about 30 odd.
sir.
Yes, sir,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. Sir, sorry to intervene. These case studies, can it be part of this thing for the students of agricultural science where so many professors
We can
joined?
give it, sir.
So
We
if
can give
they
it.
can,
We can give
perfectly.
it, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
You.
So these are the
Absolutely.
35
Yeah.
odd startups with whom we are working out, and we are taking up. And the 3rd of September, I am proud to announce over here that we'll be celebrating the International Year of Millet there at Dubai. And this is how our conclusion is. In nutshell, combining the QMM and the GAVC in millet production isn't just a technological upgrade, it is a game changer, and improved quality, efficient value chain, and sustainability come together and benefiting the farmers, consumers, and the planet in large. So I thank you once again. These are my coordinates. You can make note of it. And thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That's a wonderful talk. And if we come to your place, we would be very glad to give you a token of appreciation. This is for you. This is a virtual presentation.
Thank you.
We would meet you in person and hand over whenever we
Definitely.
we can
It's my
meet.
pleasure, sir.
And I think there is a raise of hand. Organizer, could you check if there is any question from one of the attendees? Otherwise, we can move to the next speaker.
We can have it together, na, as you
Right.
rightly
We
said.
can continue with the next speaker.
Because I'm very keen to listen to Professor Moni.
Right. Yes. Sudhakar Reddy Garu. So you please type your question and we will definitely come to you. With that, thanks a lot. We spent 2 hours and it's one of the best discussions that I have ever moderated.